Okay, welcome back to our AI governance blueprint. Last time we talked about risk and compliance management, and in this video we're going to talk about incident response. So, as you think about incident response in your organization, what we're really talking about is what happens when something goes wrong with AI. And so, really ensuring that proactively you have clear protocols in place for one that help people recognize when a risk is happening. Like, what is a risk? What is happening that makes them recognize, oh, this is something I need to have a response to, right? And then also have clear protocols in place to report something once it does, to conduct an investigation that's thorough, that's consistent across incidents, and then also that you have some sort of a debrief process in place to learn from what happened and then revisit any protocols and processes that you have in place. We really recommend folks start from a place of scenario planning to really start to think about, well, what are incidents that might occur, right? What's happening sort of with AI that might cause us to need to react, right? So we had, OpenAI just had their development day, right, and released a whole bunch of, tools around agents and Sora, like video creation tools. So does that have an impact on things that might make their way into our school or our organization? And if so, what might those incidents look like in a best case scenario? What might they look like in a worst case scenario? And would we know how to recognize that? Would we know how to communicate about it? So really kind of thinking in terms of that. In terms of what you actually need in place, we recommend folks having clear escalation protocols. So being really specific about who's the point person when an incident occurs. Does everybody know who to contact? Um, and there could be a variety of things, right? It could be bias detected in a response from a generative AI tool. And what we hope is that at the classroom level, that one, teachers are understanding of what that is. They have enough AI literacy to know that there's a biased output, that they have enough AI literacy to make it a teachable moment. And two, and then also that they know again who to go to say, hey, this happened. I just want to let you know. And really that there's kind of a process around that. Not everything is an emergency. Not everything is an incident, but it should all be documented. So, and how you responded should all be part of your process. Um, Establishing recognition criteria. So again, that whether it's the teacher or the parent in the classroom with students or a principal or someone in your finance office, that everybody sort of understands what constitutes a risk and what constitutes an incident and has a protocol to know how to respond. And then finally, that calibration piece at the end is really, really important. Not a blame assigning situation, but just as like, let's just debrief and deconstruct the incident that happened. How did we respond? What worked in terms of how we follow protocol and the process that we have in place? What was missing or what didn't get caught? And then how do we remedy that for future incidents? What can we celebrate and then what can we fix? I think you want to have both of those lenses as you look through that review process. And then again, what's the response, right? Is it the process needs to be updated? Is that we need to do some more learning and training? Is it that, our communication needs to be tightened, but really kind of having an actual response and be able to say, hey, here's the incident that happened. Here's what we learned from it. Here's how we adjusted accordingly. Claire, anything you would add to incident response?
I just one thing that may be a good process as a both personal or individual to do, but also as a school is really to keep an inventory of not just how AI is used, but also why it's used. This can really help later with incident responses. So this could be, for example, a teacher that wants to bring in a video generator to a class. Is the teacher bringing that in there to do work that students will eventually be graded on? Or is it to experiment and lead to discussion? What's the purpose of the use of the AI? It can be really good to add as an inventory throughout the use of AI and will really help the team that are going over the incident response to understand how to celebrate, as you say, the good use of AI, but also adjust going forward for ways that can be more efficient in the use of AI.
Great. Okay, fantastic. So that was just kind of a brief overview of incident response. If you were going to get started tomorrow, I think one thing you could do is just identify the person, right? Start by naming a person who's sort of the AI incident contact, and share their name so that that person is known as in that role. And then just even start inventory, like what are some examples of AI incidents that have happened across your organization? And starting to think about, how we plan for these. Are they different? Is the response different depending on, who's navigating it? And use that as sort of a way to inform what you need to tackle first from the perspective of incident response. When you're ready, our next video you can come check out is decision-making systems.